Hey everybody, welcome back to Video Game. So today I got a fun and exciting episode for you guys this evening as we're doing a review of ZPF. It is a brand new shmup released both for the Mega Drive and Sega Genesis from the ZPF team. And when I say this thing is basically dialed up to 11 in a Spinal Tap way, I 100% mean it. This thing is action-packed from start to finish, straight up balls to the walls, never lets up in all the best ways possible. Before you get too far involved though, to be a huge favor, go down below, hit like and subscribe and ring that notification bell. Definitely helps us out. And if you feel so inclined to want to support the channel, we got a Patreon link down below as well. But right off the top, even if this is on the Mega Drive, it definitely has Lords of Thunder or Gate of Thunder inspirations going on in all of the best ways possible. The minute I turned this thing on, all the way through to the point in time that I beat it, I had an absolute metric crap ton of fun with it. It hits every single hallmark that I need out of a good shmup, nothing more and nothing less. And honestly, the number one thing you're going to notice right off the top is this game is just a complete visual feast on the Sega Genesis. There's so much parallax scrolling, there's so much fun use of colorways, all of the sprites animate so well, and I didn't really encounter any slowdown on the entirety of the game. So honestly, the developers that made this thing, the artists that made all of the sprites and background layers, just had to seemingly have a mastery of the Sega Genesis hardware to get this level of performance out of it. Now, of course, it is a horizontal shmup, always a fun genre, but it definitely does the one thing that I need any shmup to do, whether it's modern or a retro game. All of the bullets on the screen are instantaneously readable. The color definitely pops, and it actually separates itself out from the background, and the bullets will change colors depending on the background color as well. So you always have that readability, so if you get hit by a projectile, it's because you weren't paying attention and you moved the wrong direction versus actually being hit because it was unfair and you couldn't see that bullet. That's a must for any shmup for me, and ZPF 100% takes care of everything in that regard. And honestly, that's the first thing I look at when I look at reviewing a new shmup. I gotta be able to see those bullets if I'm gonna be able to avoid them. If I take a death and feel like it was unfair, I'm gonna stop having fun. So ZPF 100% nails that brief. Now secondarily, I can't stress enough just how absolutely gorgeous this game is. The color usage, the ability to shift from one color to the other, this kind of psychedelic neon green, red, and pink here, even those mushroom houses in the background, every single pixel is just lusciously dripping with color and detail. So much so that you kind of want to look at the background images and kind of just soak in how pretty the game is. But of course it is a shmup, and not looking at the action in front of you is going to be to your detriment. Now, on the gameplay side of things, again, just absolute a 10 out of 10. You have your long-range weapon, but you also have a melee attack. I don't find myself using that as much as I think I would, because I love staying to the left-hand side of the screen and giving myself as much time to react to the bullets coming in as I can possibly get, but I understand that other people really like to rush in and force the issue, so you have that melee attack. And I'll show you guys a little bit later in the video, there's an entire upgrade system as well, so you can increase your attack power, increase your melee power by continues, and even kind of make the game easier if you so want to. But gameplay wise, this thing just absolutely is nailing it. I love everything about it. All the levels are diverse, and if you can't tell already, I haven't even done a cut in the video. I'm just bringing you through one stage here from start to finish just to show you how fun it is, how many times it varies up and changes itself, and just how much there is to see and do. And these turtles down here, 100% a vibe for sure. And I really appreciate from a design aesthetic just how many times the actual artwork and background and the actual places you're visiting change in a particular stage. Sometimes I get driven a little bit nuts by a stage that lasts 4 or 5 minutes and never changes the artwork up, but in ZPF, even if you are technically on the same stage, you're going to see 4, 5, 6, 7, sometimes even 8 different looks as far as the background and foreground art are concerned. Add into that a ton of diverse enemy sprites, and you just really have something that's going to keep you entertained, not just in the gameplay department, but also in the visual department, because even the best shmup in the world, if the background's the same for 4 or 5 minutes, I start to get a little bit bored and almost feel like I'm getting tunnel vision. So I think from a design and aesthetic standpoint, ZPF was very smart to actually keep all the graphics kind of changing up, because you'll see here again within like 45 seconds we're at the boss in a completely different arena. But now it's soundtrack sample time, and as beautiful as this game looks, as fun as it is to play, I would say the #1 accomplishment here in my opinion is this is some of the best music I've ever heard coming out of a Sega Genesis or Mega Drive. So go ahead and listen for 45 seconds, I'll be right back with a ton more shmup fun. But enjoy. I mean, obviously, music is a very subjective thing. What I love, you might not like whatsoever, but I would say, at least on a technical level, the music in ZPF is 100% doing it for me. As we get into this next stage here, just look at all of the absolute insane parallax scrolling going on. You basically have like 5 different independent layers, or at least trickery to get those 5 layers, and it's absolutely a visual feast. And I also love that they put They Live on the wall there. Definitely a John Carpenter reference, even if his best movies always escape from New York. I know one person on the MiSTer Discords that think Big Trouble in Little China is the best, and I keep trying to convince them it isn't true. But after that aside, again, this game just is absolutely gorgeous in motion. There's so much to see, so much to do, so many different styles of the level. Every single world you're going to go into is going to feel completely visually distinct from the one you were just previously in. And I love that from a design aesthetic and philosophy, being able to mix everything up and feeling like you're going into a brand new experience, even if you are playing the same game. But again, a shmup lives or dies on its gameplay. It can be the prettiest thing in the world, but if it doesn't have the gameplay to match, it's just not really going to stick around too long in your imagination. You're not going to want to play it that much. The good thing is in ZPF, the gameplay is straight up gold. It definitely isn't a bullet hell shmup. There's going to be enough projectiles on screen to give you a challenge, but not so many that you're going to feel like you're in the bullet hell genre. But it is going to be a challenging game. You need to read the screen, you need to understand everything that's going on, and you need to make sure that you keep yourself safe, because until you get enough credits in the game, which is those bonus power-ups are picking up to buy a continue, you have exactly the life you start out with. Once you die, you are back to the beginning, so you even have to earn those continues, which I appreciate. It makes you learn the game and get better at it. But just look at that boss sprite on the left, that half machine, half man, with that gaping maw and that flashing eye. Basically looks like he's in searing pain, and you even have that alien mouth just above him. That's absolutely gorgeous artwork, and it looks incredible on the screen, and it also is just absolutely massive. Some of the sprites in this game are going to fill up basically like a third or half of the screen, and from a technical standpoint alone on the Sega Genesis, that's just absolutely wild. And again, you've been watching all of this footage, it hasn't slowed down once. That is definitely something I appreciate. Sometimes slowdown in shmups is intentional just to kind of help you get through an area. Sometimes it's because there's too many sprites on screen, but it works here. And Intestines of Evil, absolutely one of my favorite names of all time as far as levels are concerned. And you'll see there you do get that entire power-up menu in between each level, so you can spend those credits however you want, or you can convert them over to points. So if you want to just try to 1cc this as a stock playable character, you can actually maximize your score by doing that. But ZPF is just one of those games, and this is every bit as good as the previews have talked about. This is going to go down as one of the best shmups on the Sega Genesis, and maybe one of the best fan games ever made for the hardware as well. I honestly can't find anything to fault about ZPF outside of the fact that you're going to beat it and it is going to be over, but then you can just jump back in and play one more time. And again, I think my favorite part, even over the visuals, has got to be the soundtrack. It is just straight up amazing. So one more soundtrack sample, 35 seconds, and I'll be right back and show you one more boss, my favorite in the game. I mean, it just absolutely does it for me on the soundtrack front. And this boss right here, absolutely just batshit crazy insane in all the best ways possible. Looks like it's wearing bone football pads, and you have to destroy this ribcage here on one or more sides so you can actually get into that heart and start doing the real damage. And you'll see here, basically, I beat the boss at the exact same time he kills me, and I end up having to take a continue because I just basically mistimed it. But this game has so much challenge. When you get visuals this good, it just is absolutely something you love to see. Or if you move over into the next stage here, you basically get like a futuristic Neo-Tokyo vibe going on. We've been in like a psychedelic mushroom kingdom with a ton of dragons and other weird things going on. We've been in the intestines of a beast, and now we are in the cityscape, and all of that parallax scrolling, that trickery in the background again, just absolutely looks like some of the best graphics you're ever going to get out of Sega Genesis. The ZPF team just 100% nailed every single portion of this game, from the aesthetic to the gameplay to the music to the colors. It just does everything I need it to. Now I get that the colors are going to be very stylized, so maybe it's not the same for you, so leave me a comment down below and tell me what you think. But trust me, if you love Sega Genesis or Mega Drive and you love a good shmup and you like a good fan game, you would be hard-pressed to find something any better than ZPF to play in the shmup genre. This is a straight up 10 out of 10, from the color to the artwork to the gameplay to the soundtrack, even to the packaging from Mega Cat Studio. It's something you want to put on your shelf, it's something you want to play in your Sega Genesis, and it's something that you definitely want to get better at. Leave me a comment down below and tell me, of all the Sega Genesis shmups that came out in the retail library, which one was your favorite, because as far as new shmup games are concerned on the hardware, ZPF 100% takes the crown as far as my favorite. But we're done, I got a game over, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.